have in our brains these unconscious patterns and not even knowing that we have them. I mean, this is normal. This is how you're supposed to do it. Isn't that right, Pam? We have the right to be angry. We are justified in our anger. And and then you know what? When people who are really angry, ask them if they're justified. And you know they'll say with strong emotions, "You darn right I am." Oh, well, they may not say they're not angry. They just say this is just how you're supposed to do it. But see, then again, it's these little programming that we have picked up and discovered and start operating from. It's not good. It's not healthy to keep it. But sometimes, if you have this anger, it does sometimes motivate ourselves. Motivate us. Now, by the way, if you use your anger to inflict upon them, it's a ministry. You're Saint Anger, and you're passing it on, and you're teaching your children how to be this way, and it's a ministry, the ministry of anger.
One of the things I've noticed is, and I kind of already knew it before, but it's really been driven home again just over the last few weeks. A lot of my anger is what really is right underneath it is fear. And it happens so quickly that I don't even know that I've started in fear and actually went to anger because the anger must have felt better. And because I notice as I start to untap, that's usually what will be uncovered first is some level of anxiety, fear, or powerlessness, and which would make total sense. That would make you feel fearful. So one of the things I've been thinking is that maybe when it's not collapsing, when I'm addressing the fear head on, the anger head on, if I can figure out what part of me feels out of control or out of, frightened by whatever. And if I can even tap away at that, maybe then the anger will collapse too more easily.
Yeah, there definitely are layers to this. Anger is the explosion of what is underneath it. It's the atomic bomb is not the mushroom, but it's the explosion underneath it, which is the fear, which is the hurt, which is the feeling of being inadequate, or the feeling of being threatened, or the feeling of harm, or whatever it is that's driving us. So the anger is just like trying to, just make you straighten up, like the lady who's foaming at the mouth. She's trying to straighten those people up. And of course, behind it, obviously, or apparently, is the feeling of probably not being recognized, or not being honored, or not feeling rejected, or feeling whatever that was that's behind it. So it really breaks down to I'm hurt, I'm threatened, my rules are violated, and then or something, fear of pain, and it's also an automatic emotional conditioning that has been happening for years. Automatic, natural, unconscious responses. So when we start addressing our biggest problem, which we'll discover is really just us, and of course when you become, Saint Linda Anger Ministry, .com. I mean, we do that, and some people do the guilty judgment ministry, or do it my way or the highway ministry, which again, when you're born and you come in this world, one thing they're always doing, and that is trying to tell you what to do. Little baby, they're trying to mold you, they're trying to curb you, they're trying to direct you, they're trying to force you, they're trying to manipulate you into doing something. They go to school, they're trying to force feed you this education. They're trying to change you, mold you, and when Uncle Joe or Grandpa or whoever who had the negative impact on your life, they're still doing it to you. The deal is, what we have to do is go back and change this feeling of helplessness, the feeling of no control, the feeling of whatever it is that's underlying. Now that's one of the biggest and major, most driving forces, this helplessness, hopelessness, feeling of no control, whatever it is. Does that kind of make sense? That's the basis. Because everywhere you go, they're trying to do that.
Don't you think that there are times when anger can be self-protective?
Definitely. It is all self-protective.
Well, because there's times that if you could get angry about something, you could possibly deal with it better. So is there ever a time when it's healthy to try to get angry?
Well,
When you can't feel any anger?
that's an interesting question. Well, give me a scenario that you think you should be angry, but you're not. I mean, for example, that'd help me understand it.
Okay, what if one of your children, who you love dearly, does something that, let's say, hurts you? And you're having a hard time getting over that. You love them, and if you could just get angry with them for a little while, you could protect yourself. Does that make sense?
That is so good. So basically, well, I'd like to address this because this is really good. So basically, what you're saying is that, say, for example, your child does something and hurts you.
I'm not a person who gets angry easily. It's hard for me to get angry, even when I need to protect myself.
Mm-hmm.
So there are times that I want to get angry and I can't.
Good. Now, how many of you heard of this idea, this concept, we need boundaries? Boundaries. All right. Now, what is a boundary? A boundary says, I need this wall of protection so I won't let you hurt me, right? And if you cross the boundary, I'm going to get you, or I will straighten you up, right? Well, here's the problem. You remember we talked about that, for example, the two models of the world. Right. One is right here. My son, my daughter, the guy next door, my mother, my father, does something and I am hurt. Right? And if I were angry, if I could get angry, I will straighten them up. Isn't that right? Defense. Right. All right. So inside of this little diagram right here, we are hurt and we have this big button right here. Pain or / hurt, right? All right, so we have this button inside of us. It's kind of like it's a vibrating with light, like the ones that, push the button and it says something. Stop it. All right, this button right here. So here it is. I have this button inside me, and if I got angry, I will straighten this person up. They will stop doing it. But here's the problem. We have this within us. This is the pain button or the hurt button. All right? And so what we need to do, we need to create us a boundary. So we're going to draw this boundary. And the interesting thing is, you can have a square the interesting thing is, inside this boundary, guess what's inside of it? I'll read it again. Read out here. Can you read it? Hurt and pain. So what I should do is allow this hurt and pain to radiate out and straighten up Joe. Right? Again, what are we using? We're using anger to motivate and to correct whoever. We'll get to that part. He said, does forgiveness come into it? All right, so here it is. We have hurt and pain. And so what we need to do is we get angry enough, we're going to say, stop that stuff. Right? But what is motivating behind it? What is the power force behind this? Pain and hurt. By the way, if you build a wall, then I'm going to create a boundary around me so I'll be protected. What is stuck inside the walls?
Pain and hurt.
Okay. So how are we to solve this problem? Drifting back to the very... Now this is the higher model of thinking. This is what enlightened people are aware of. By the way, this is an enlightened class. Us. And within this enlightened class, we begin to discover, first of all, inside of us, inside of this little hurt and pain, we have some processes. And I'm going to draw little circles like that up there. Inside of us, we already have hurt and pain. And within this hurt and pain, we have memories to support our hurt and pain. We have emotions, feelings, and sensations to provide and build this hurt and pain. And then we also have sounds in our head, and we also have the how-to inside of us. So if we're using hurt and pain to explode with anger to straighten them up, guess what we also are administrating? Hurt and pain. And also, we're also teaching, in order to get anything, you got to be angry. And by the way, you'll justify it. So what's the key? The key is going right in here, and my son, my daughter, my in-laws, my whoever, stirred up what? My ability to heal or to kill myself. Now, let me help you understand. To heal or kill yourself. Now, in order to heal, what we want to do is start to make peace inside ourselves. That means if somebody, something, stirs up some kind of a hurt or pain or anger within you, and if you explode, you're also giving hurt and pain. Which, by the way, it is the ministry of anger. Ministry of hurt and pain. And you could be, a saint in this ministry. I mean, you could be disciple Linda, disciple Susan, right? All right, but if you realize that Joe is a gift from God, as a matter of fact, this gift from God has just stirred up your ability to be angry or hurt, and you say, wow, such a great gift. I'm going to tap and tell this sucker doesn't ever bother me again. If you use this as the gift to help you heal, then all of a sudden there is no pain, there is no hurt, and when Joe acts like that again, you kind of laugh, you say, stop that stuff. And you don't operate from hurt and pain. You hear what I'm saying? So the key is if they hurt you, stir you up, if you're in the grocery store line and you're bothered, with a capital P, and you tap it out, who is spiritually improving? Well, let's just throw the spirituality out. Who is emotionally improving? All right? So how do you do this? First of all, you eliminate the hurt button. Now, how would you do that? Well, first of all, you look at Joe and think about what Joe said, what Joe did, how Joe performed. And then you start releasing it. Now, of course, we use the releasing process, is the tapping. Go back and feel it, see it, and make it bother you again. And tell Joe could say anything. You say, well, interesting behavior. You like that feeling, huh? Double it. Because then when you begin to realize that it's you, every person, every opportunity will come to your door. The guy who pulls in front of you on the highway, and if you get upset, that's your gift to heal. Now, the part that kills you is that you're going to start blaming Joe. Matter of fact, you'll think about Joe. You lay in bed at night, I can't believe Joe just so mean to me and he hates me. And you think about how Obama or whoever else that torments you. And you're laying in bed, who are you doing this to? It's you. And you're trying to kill yourself, because what happens? This hurt and this pain will start affecting your joints. It'll start affecting all relationships. And if you practice enough, it'll wear you out and kill you. Have a heart attack. Just because you're so pissed and foaming at the mouth. So that's how you do it. You go inside you. And the moment, now here's the deal. When you go and heal this, you handle this completely different. Completely different.
So you're saying that we have to go inside the hurt and pain to see what's happened in the past that caused that to hurt us? Not
necessarily, but you can. So the deal is, you don't have to go into the past. You go to how you know you have the pain. Like, say, for example, you and I, we're walking down the street, and I say something that just really tears you up. And you're angry, and we part, and you
no,
take...
I'm not angry at first.
Oh, wait,
I want to get angry.
Oh, but you're hurt.
I'm hurt, but I want to get angry.
Now, you have to understand, here's something that some people have been programmed to do. By your parents, it's not safe to get angry. So it's okay to be hurt. Now, anger and hurt could be very similar. They're just spelt different. Okay? So for some people, you've been taught you don't get angry, so you will not get angry, you'll just get hurt. And you won't use that hurt to explode, but you could be angry by yourself. And you might not even realize it's anger because you're rehearsing it, feeling bad over and over again, and you may throw your coffee cup down or whatever you do. However you process this. See, depression is really anger turned inwards. Sadness and hurt, rejection, abandonment, and just self-loathing and beating yourself up and finding fault and guilting yourself. That's the same thing as anger. It's all basically some of the basic stuff, except some anger is explosive and others is internally explosive. And it shows up in joint pain, it shows up in stomach problems, it shows up in all kinds of weird ways. So how do you fix it? The deal is, if you're hurt, release the hurt, and the difference is you will handle it completely different to where it will impact him to stop it. And you'll say something not out of the pain, but out of, if the pain is not there, you know what you're going to do? You're going to handle it out of power, self-control, love.
So if you tap away the hurt, you have no longer have the need to be angry.
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Basically.
Okay.
Or it could be not just the hurt, it could be out of rejection, feeling rejected, or feeling of violated, or feeling of whatever else could be, any emotional attachment there. So the key is, again, you can't fix him. See, the anger, we're going to say, I'm going to fix you. I'm going to fix you. And that's what I did with us. They'd beat us. So they would beat us until we totally submit, as kids. And then break in the spirit, so to speak. But, we're adults now, But if we operate from personal power, by releasing the pain and hurt, then you're going to handle them in a very positive, powerful way. And you know what? They may get upset because you're not playing the game with them, because they're used to playing this game with you. It's a nested loop. I mean, it's just like a love cycle. Mom, I do this to you. I always do this to all my friends. And you won't play with me now. What happens if they won't play with you? They'll just go and play with somebody else who they can torment, and you can be at peace. Again, heal you. Release your stuff. And as you release your stuff, you're going to handle them in such a powerful, positive way. And you won't take it personal. Because you realize he's speaking out of his own crud.